What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Welcome back to another episode of the 76-hour podcast playoff edition. A round of applause for y'all making it to this point in the season. I am here along. I'm sorry, you are here. You are here along with your boy Yeen, and I am along with my main man's Nizzy Now Jack Stacks. How are you feeling tonight, my brother?
Feeling good, bro. You know what I mean? Like we had got this dub. And even though it was really tough defensive game, a win is a win. So, you know what I mean? Like that's all we could ask for up 2-0. So hopefully we can get that sweep.
Also, uh, if everyone doesn't know, it is Niles' belated birthday. My man's turned. I'm not. I'm not going to give them your actual age, but let's just say he has officially joined the old man club. What?
Something
Wel-
like that.
welcome to the best years of your life, my guy.
Appreciate it, bro. Time just be moving so fast, bro. I feel like I was just 18 2 seconds ago, and now it's just like, damn, but
Dog,
that's like,
we were just in Atlanta for New Year's Day. Like
oh,
I,
facts, bro.
I remember that joint like it was yesterday, fam.
Facts, bro. Dog.
But uh to take care of some business before the actual pod starts, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss no more or any of this unique Sixers content as we go deep into the playoffs. Hopefully, we'll pass round two and shoot. Let's try to get past round one, even though it is looking very promising. I believe this is episode 9, maybe 8 or 9. I'm not sure. We skipped last week's episode because there was a lot of things going on my end. The Sixers ended this season 54-28. I think that was the record, third in
Yeah.
the East. Um, and y'all already know the story. Finished third and would face the Brooklyn Nets in the first round as they are doing now. So we can get to the playoff stuff, and we'll get there in a bit. But I wanted to ask you real quick, what was your favorite or some of your favorite moments of the Sixers season thus far? It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific game, unless it is, but it could be an actual change that you've seen in the squad. So before we talk about the glorious 2-0 start, this playoffs, what has been your favorite thing of this year? Watching the Sixers.
Um, so I'm gonna point out like one of my favorite games, and I'll just make like a general statement of what I like of seeing from the team. This game we were playing the Bucks. We were in Milwaukee. This happened a little over a month ago. We were down for like the majority of the game. I think down as many as almost 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And late in like the fourth quarter, like towards the end of the third quarter and going into the fourth quarter, we came back in Embiid and Harden especially took over. I think he dropped like a little over 30. And we came back and won. And Giannis had a really good game too. And I just really feel like that was the game that, really put Joel Embiid like not necessarily on the map because he's really always been on the map, but like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the MVP conversation, I feel like, you know, a lot of people may think that Embiid is like a tier under Giannis, and I feel like that was a game that really made people realize that like what they both kind of belong in the same conversation. So that was a really standout game, but in terms of the entirety of the season. Just the way that we, persevered. We started off the season like what 1-4, 1-5, and we ended up finishing off with the most wins since 2001, which
Mm-hmm.
was the last time we went to the final. So, just the way that we battled. I remember in years prior, we would always ball out at home, but on the road, we were shitty, bro. Like we were horrible on the road. But
Facts.
this year we played pretty well on the road, and we don't give up when we're down big in a lot of games, especially in games when we're playing playoff caliber teams. And I just really see, more of a fight in the Sixers this year, and in comparison to other years, and just, more toughness, and more chemistry too, especially
Hmm.
with the two-man game between Harden and Embiid. Like, they really learned how to, play well with each other. So just a lot of cohesiveness, much more toughness, and just much more perseverance, like, overall, especially when we're playing a lot of these playoff teams.
I would say, looking back at the season, my actual favorite games, I'll give three of them. The first one had to be the earlier game in the year. I want to say it was November 22nd, and we played the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this was when Joel, James, and Maxey were hurt, and
I
this was
remember that,
Ben
John.
Simmons' first playing game back in Philadelphia since his debacle.
Facts.
It was a healthy Nets team versus an injured Sixers team, and everybody and their mama thought that the Sixers would lose, I included.
Same here.
Um, but they didn't. Tobias Harris stepped the hell up. So did,
Why
I
is
believe.
balled out?
Yeah, Toby. And I want to
Facts.
say it was D'Anthony, Melton, and Shake.
Mm,
They stepped up and caught a huge dub against Ben, KD, and Kyrie, which was like, I'm so mad because like I was definitely gonna go to that game, and tickets were very cheap too. But I don't
really?
know why like I ain't go, bro. Like because you know me, like I was a am a ex Ben fan, so I always love to get to give him some of the actual misery back that he gave me. Um, but yeah, low key, I
I
feel like
feel you.
that's the game that put the nail in the KD Kyrie staying in Brooklyn coffin. Because you could tell like those type games when like a teammate has to prove something, usually their teammates help them overcome it. And there's probably no player in the league that like had to prove something more than Ben at that time in that stadium. And like Katie and Kyrie was like, yeah, like we don't care. Like you could really see it on
No,
their
facts.
faces, bro. Like in their
Stupid,
play.
man.
Like Bulls was like, it's cool. So that's when I knew that KD and Kyrie were going to dip officially. And honestly, I feel like, and this is like going forward, but I high key feel like Ben towards the end of the season looked at the standings and he was like, "We're about to play the Sixers. I'm not playing. I want to sit my butt home and get a
Yeah,
check." So shout out to like Ben, doing his thing.
getting
My
his
second
money.
shoot, the boy finessed it. Second favorite game would have to be a few months ago. It was the Sixers versus the Nuggets.
Mhm.
Embiid versus Jokic. The Sixers, I think we like manhandled them essentially. And Embiid ended the game off with a step back, tween back, step back three, which
47.
was yeah, bro, 47 Nugget piece. Very fun game just to rub it in Denver's fans' faces. Uh, Hopefully your Vorp can like save you now. It probably can't. And my third game, you just eloquently stated it as well, was against the Bucks about a month ago. I thought that game was done, bro. I was so tight. I was out. Sorry, not like tight. I was so mad. Tight is pause. Anyway, I was mad as hell. I was like eating Korean chicken wings at a
That's
diner.
so random.
Yeah, bro. Long story short, I went to the movies afterwards. We were going to get we were going to get Mexican, but the
Mhm.
but the joint was closed. So there was a spot right next to it that sold Korean. But it was like a hole in the wall type place. Anyway, long story short, we are downstairs watching the game,
Mhm.
and like we're getting DICKED, right? And I'm like, yo, why do I root for this team? Like, what's the point? Like Bulls was getting fried by Giannis, and you already know, like when we play certain teams, especially in the past, there's like no hope for us to win. And I'm like, here we go again, another BS uninspired performance by the like squad. And then Harden stepped up and made a bunch of amazing threes and plays, which saved the game. And I was in that chicken spot yelling my butt off. I was like probably the only black boy there. Well, it was me and my girl, but like one of the only black boys there yelling my head off, dog. And I had fun. So I would say those 3 games.
That's what's up.
And in terms of what I liked the most about the year, I would say the PJ acquisition, just because he gave this team heart. Because a lot of these wins that we had during the 2022-2023 season would have not have been possible if we didn't give a damn and like actually stay determined throughout the game. So
That's a
I
fact.
love just seeing like the team give a damn for once, since we give dams each year. So that's like
Facts.
the actual main growth that I enjoyed. So yeah, moving on to the playoffs. The 76ers have played 2 games so far against the Brooklyn Nets. Um, the first game was last Sunday where we won. Let me check the schedule. That was today. Let's see. Where we won 101 to 121, 20-point John. And today we came back to the Wells Fargo Center and won game 2, 96 to 84. So your 76ers are up 2 games to none going into Brooklyn, I believe, on Thursday, where they hope to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. No team has really come back from 3. Actually, that's not true. It's especially since we like have one certain guy as a coach on our team. But anyway, the Sixers look to do their thing on Thursday. I wanted to ask you what have you seen so far with the squad the last 2 games, and did you think it would look this easy? I can't necessarily say that like tonight's game was the best game overall, but in my estimation, I honestly feel like the Sixers or the Nets played the Sixers game slow, drag, drag, drag it out, fouls, get to the line, low scoring game. The Nets are a fast, long team. They like, want to run up and down the like court, pop threes, dunks. The Sixers said no, slow your roll down. Um, we are going to play bully, tough flop ball, and you've seen the results. I think we might be seeing a sweep. I still want to say that the Nets can win 1 game,
I
but
feel you.
I just don't see like the actual heart there per se. If they do win a game, it's probably going to be game 4. I think for some reason I feel like the Sixers are coming in with a killer type joint, because like even during this
As you
game,
should.
game 2, like I never felt like we were going to lose. Even going into halftime, when the like bull Cameron Johnson
Johnson.
had
Mhm.
like 18 points. Embiid only had like 10. Harden was like shooting in efficiently. I really never felt that like we were out of this game. Um, so I honestly think that like we're going to get the job done, and like we kind of need to do it quickly. One just to give us confidence going into round 2, but also just to get some rest, because you already know some dumb ish always happens with Joel around these times. So I want his butt on the bench or at home with his son. So yeah, what have you seen from the Sixers up to this point in the playoffs?
Well, everybody not named Joel Embiid has, really stepped up. Tobias had 2 20-point games in these 2 playoffs.
Crumble
Um
cookies. Put some respect on his name, bro.
and Tyrese Maxey came up big, dropped 33. And PJ Tucker, even though it doesn't, really show a whole lot in the box score, he got a lot of key offensive rebounds. Um, as much as I love Montrezl Harrell, Paul Reed has really stepped up in these
Hmm.
playoffs, man. On the offensive boards, he's getting all these boards like crazy. He's, learning how to finish better at the rim. And he's becoming a really good lob threat when Embiid is off the floor, when Harden is, running stuff. And that's really what Harden's bread and butter is to, drive. And then if like the layup isn't there, throw the lob up. So that's, where Paul Reed, comes in handy. But yeah, I mean, I did see that one of the Achilles heels of the Sixers is when teams defend us in that 2-3 zone,
Hmm.
um, because that like, it just really showed me much out like, how much good perimeter play we need to really go deep into the playoffs because, they were literally triple teaming Embiid, in the post, and being that Embiid is the focal point of our offense, we need people on the perimeter to be more aggressive, and Tyrese Maxey was that tonight, and Tobias Harris was that tonight, which is, don't get me wrong, a great sign to see. But at the end of the day, this is the Nets. This is not, a world beater team. So when we play the Celtics in the second round, unless the Hawks can pull off some
Trey Young
miracle.
could, I mean, Trey Young beat us. I'm
No,
just,
fact. So
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, listen, unless the Hawks can pull it off,
Hmm.
when we play Boston, who has, very good wing depth and very good wing play, if they take away it just can't get to a point where, Boston goes on a run and then we get into a jam, then they defend us in the 2-3 zone. And I mean, and even tonight, Embiid had a lot of turnovers that were really, you know, um just not careful,
Hmm.
and we can't have that later on in the playoffs. I mean, we'll beat the Nets. I'm not even, you know what I mean? Like, more than
Yeah, worry about
likely,
it.
I think that we'll sweep them, especially if we win game 3 this Thursday. I really don't see Brooklyn winning a game 4 because I feel like in game 4, if we're already up 3-0, I feel like Philly just going to be like, all right, like you said before, like, let's just end this, get some rest, and then go into the second round. But that was the main concern that I saw, but I also saw Embiid later on in the game, passing out of the double teams and making the right play, and finding people for open shots, and that's what he's going to have to continue to do,
Hmm.
going deep into the playoffs because that got Tobias going. Maxey was going early on, but then a whole nother thing is James Harden tonight only had 8 points. I think he only shot like 20 something percent from the field. So
Hmm.
he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. 3 of 13 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3-point range. So I mean, once again, this is the Nets, so I'm not really tripping, but like, when we play against the Celtics and against better teams, like, James Harden can't play like that. Um, as you know, that like basketball is a game of runs, and you know, we really have to be on our best, stuff to, make sure we can go on these runs to put these teams away. And, in a lot of these, playoff series, it's going to come down to, you know, game 7, potentially, especially against 2 really good teams. And when that happens, or if that happens, you really can't afford to have your second best player put up 13 shots and only make 3 of them and only have 8 points. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
we still got the win, but it's just mainly we have to keep hitting on the perimeter as we did tonight, and we have to find out a better way to score points when teams defend us in that 2-3 zone. So that was my main takeaway. We got the win, but I still saw a whole lot of things that we need to clean up.
Yeah, most definitely. This team definitely isn't perfect. Um, I just like the fact that Harden still stayed aggressive and still went for
Yeah,
his shots.
yeah,
He ain't make them. But I think it bodes well the fact that like he like still tried to um be that assassin because that's what we're going to need when we do play
absolutely.
Boston or
Trae Young.
Atlanta. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I, I'm just not as concerned yet. But yeah, what I do like and what I have seen is like your boy Glenn is doing adjustments, bro, and he's not playing
Yeah,
all bench lineups.
thank God.
Glenn,
Like,
Glenn said y'all are not going to blame me, and he's actually been like coaching well the last two games. Now, of course,
he
once
has.
again, this is against the Nets and a rookie coach. Like
Exactly.
this is what he should be doing anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
But
right.
I haven't seen like any bad lineups per se, and he's playing the
Rotations.
players
Yeah,
that he needs to play. I
exactly.
am getting. I don't know. It's not that I don't like J Mac because he clearly fits on his team better than Matisse. But
Yeah.
I feel like he's just there for his athleticism, which is what he's there for. But I feel like he's just like fluky, bro. Like make a
Yeah,
dunk.
he's
Like
like
make
yeah, that's a very good point. He's really streaky. He'll go on a tear where he'll make like 2 to 3 pointers, and then the next game he can't make anything. He did have a fairly easy alley-oop that,
yeah,
he
bro.
couldn't
That's
it's
what
like
I'm saying.
he didn't even have to dunk it for like all you just catch it and lay it up if you can't, you know what I mean? So he's very up and down, but like you said, I think he's there for his athleticism, his length, and his defense primarily,
Mhm,
especially to guard other wings. So I think against a team like the Nets, where your best wing players are, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnston and Spencer Dinwiddie, this I guess is kind of good practice for us when we go up
mhm,
against better competition, but. Um, I just feel like ultimately that's what he's here for. He's kind of like another variation of Matisse Thybulle who's happens to be a better shooter. So, like you said, he definitely fits us better. But I do like this 9-man rotation that we have. So off the bench is really just Niang, Melton, McDaniels, and Paul Reed, and I think that's a pretty good mix. I think Daniel House did get some playing time tonight, but he was only in for like 2 seconds. But yeah, I mean, I really like the rotations that Doc has, especially when Embiid goes to the bench. I feel like he kind of gives Harden more freedom to orchestrate and kind of be a variation of what Houston Harden used to be. And it's a different look for the offense, and it's more shooters on the floor, especially when Harden is on the floor with Paul Reed and Yang and D'Anthony Melton, kind of spreads out the floor a little bit, and basically it puts Harden in the driver's seat to really just take over and do what he needs to do and kick it open to shooters or go to the lob with Paul Reed. So yeah, like you said, Doc has coached really well these past 2 games, but we just gotta see if he can keep it up, and I think he will in this series. But as all Sixer fans are, we're just waiting for that second round. That's all we're waiting for. You know what I mean? Like this first round stuff, yeah, like we'll probably sweep them a gentleman sweep, worst case scenario. But we're all waiting for that second round and to see you know what's going to happen then. So yeah, bro.
Well, you might finally get your wish. We are 2 games away or 2 wins away from that round. So we will see how it goes to get there. The Sixers once again play the Nets on Thursday, and then if we win that game, the game clincher will be on Sunday. And I'm actually might go out there. I don't know yet. I probably will. So if you see me, say what's good. Say what's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody. I want to thank everybody for pulling up, listening to two Bulls talk about their favorite basketball team or sports team, well, whatever. Their two favorite basketball team of all time, the Philadelphia 76ers. And keep supporting sports content from a black male perspective. How about that? I hope everybody stays safe. There was like one more thing that I wanted to like say. Dang. It definitely left me, but it's all good. It clearly was not important. We will talk to y'all next week. Hopefully by then, we will already have made it to the second round, or at least gearing up till that time. Until then, go Sixers. I hope y'all learned something tonight. Peace.